Strong rivalry, common possession of customers, and often archaic business models are causing tremendous disruption for telecommunications and digital operators. Managing Director, Accenture Nigeria, Niyi Yusuf, joins us to have an overview of the ICT sector.
Welcome to Tech Trends.
Thank you.
So what's your assessment of the Nigerian ICT industry today?
All right, thanks. That's an interesting question, and I think it's functional if we want to see it as being the bottle being half empty or half full. Right. I think we're all witnesses to the challenges that are in that sector. I mean, the access challenge, the affordability challenge. And when I say access challenge, I mean, so most of us in Lagos, we all have, well, not all of us, but quite a number of us have smartphones. You have 3G or 2.5 or 4G LTE. But Nigeria is more than Lagos and 10, 15 urban cities. Nigeria is 774 local governments. It's 1,000,001 rural towns and villages. And so, whilst Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt may present a good picture of trunk lines, of good network, in the villages, I think it's a different picture. That is one. But what excites me, though, is the new set of local entrepreneurs that are coming out, who are doing exciting things beyond the infrastructure challenge. And so, gradually, wittingly or not wittingly, something great is happening in the Yaba axis. So you talk of Inyelua, Abolaji, who has Andela. That excites me. The two creation hubs, the hubs that we have there, the Idea Lab and the CC Hub, and the wonderful young guys that are doing lots of software stuff there, that excites me. Budget IT, that today now provides some element of transparency into financial figures, into the budget figures in Nigeria. That is about software. The Mark Zuckerberg Foundation invested $24 million in Andela. That excites me. Right. So it depends on what you want to say. There are obvious challenges, but despite those challenges, I think we're beginning to see a new set of entrepreneurs.
What are the growth subsectors that you see in the ICT sector over the next 5 years?
Right. So if I look at the peculiarities of Nigeria, I suspect about 2 or 3 areas where there will be growth. One would be locally developed software applications, especially those applications that are that tend to work on mobile platforms. To the extent that you have 140 million of us who have mobile phones. So those applications that are mobile driven, that are consumer facing, I think there will be more of such. It could be something as simple as just games. Or things as simple as what you use within what they call the value-added services within the telecom sector. I think another growth area that I see, however dirty it might be, will be around repairs and services of devices. We have tons of devices in the hands of, I mean, the average urban person, professional, will carry like 3 or 4 devices, 2 cell phones, an iPad, a tablet, plus a laptop and go. Now, so those devices will get damaged, they will get stolen, they will need to be secure. So there will be, which is why the Otiba market is thriving. So I think that will continue to happen. A third bit that I suspect will also happen will be around security. As we do more things online, as we get more of our systems automated and co, then we also need to make sure that we protect those things. So I also see need for some homegrown security solutions that will target the peculiarities of the security concerns that we have in Nigeria.
A number of professionals have cried out that the budget for an important industry like the ICT industry for this year was very low. What would be your recommendation?
Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. In most other countries that I've seen, government is a big spender, which is true. But even if you look at Nigeria, the biggest spender in ICT is telecoms industry. After that is banking. Before you now have government, and you have the oil and gas. Right. So Silicon Valley in US is not government driven. Right. The hub of it came from the Defense Department, the ARPANET.
Which is government in a way.
But that was a long time ago. And so if you look at the budget today, it's the big money, the innovation, the investment will come from the private sector, not from government. And so for me, what I would like is for government to just get out of the way, really. Low regulations, low regulations, encourage innovation, encourage creativity, but just get out of the way. We don't need government funding, more international than local. And so what that means is that the ideas that will be supported, the ideas that will thrive, are the ideas that are of very high quality. So it's not the Nigerian standard.
Startups and small businesses are often seen as major ways of curbing unemployment, but a lot still needs to be done to improve the culture of innovation in Nigeria.
Let's talk about startups. What do you think is the greatest challenge for startups?
For me, I think the greatest challenge that I see is a lack of vision.
Not funding?
No. I think it's a lack of vision. Not funding. I mean, I think a lot of us, too many of us, think too small. We don't think big. Right? Which unfortunately could be a function of our exposure or the lack of it. Could be a function of the challenges that we faced, and just think that the world is this small. Creative, excellent proposals that I've seen and ideas that I've seen, regrettably, quite a number of them are from Nigerians who schooled offshore. I think there's something in our education system that limits your creativity. There's something in the way we bring up our kids that just make them to become robots. It's yes sir, what should I do? What should I not do? We confine them, and by the time they get out of the education school, the education system really can they stretch their mind. The what you call a questioning mind, critical thinking, we just lose it because we have this desire to amass certificates, and so I go to school and what I want is just to have a first class. The biggest the most successful inventors that we know today, quite a number of them are actually dropouts. But hey, excellent guys who entered excellent schools like Harvard and Yale and Stanford, and then
but they still dropped out.
Absolutely, but chasing their ideas. But the fact that they've entered those excellent schools suggests that they are brilliant students. If you have the right vision, there's plenty of capital looking for the right ideas.
Even in Nigeria,
that I'm aware of.
Finally, you just painted a very grim picture, so to speak, in terms of our educational system. Do you think that we are training our kids for the future?
The question is, who is training those kids?
Our school system.
Right, so what you don't have, you cannot give. The current crop of teachers that we have, in my view, cannot train kids for the 21st century. It's so simple. What you don't have, you don't. You can. I mean, quite a number of them are not comfortable with technology. I mean, a joke that I used to say to my friends is, our kids come home every day and they play with my phone, with your phone. My kids do stuff with the remote of the TV and the satellites, whatever, that I can never dream of doing. And then when they resume school in the morning, we ask them to shut down all of that creativity and working with electronics and face blackboard and chalkboard and hard books and blah, 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 blah. And so in the morning in school, they become, for want of a better word, what's it called? Analog. They become analog. And then when they come back in the evening at home, playing with their friends, they become digital. So we need to invest in developing our teachers, fundamentally. Developing our teachers. And if we develop our teachers and make them to be digital savvy, then they have a chance to pass on what they've learned onto the kids. A friend of mine said to me, and I don't know if it is true, but what he said is that rarely can you find an educated woman whose children will be illiterate.
Wow. Nia, thanks for being on Tech 10 today. And let's hope someone is listening.
Thanks, Fred. Thanks for having me.